Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Marvel Knights 2, MK20. Loving this. This is a really good issue. Look, the previous issue, if you like this, I think you're going to love this issue. There may be some complaints. I'm going to try and get ahead of those complaints. Let me first give credit, where it's due. Donny Cates is overseeing, he was put in charge of the Marvel Knights brand. I don't know how you would exactly title it. But Matthew Rosenberg actually did the script for this book, so the story is by both Cates and Rosenberg. Artist Nico Henrichon. Look, I apologize. VC's Corey Petit did the letters. Cover artists Jeff Shaw and Rain Barretto. And there's a bunch of variant covers. Jay Lee and June Chung, another one by Kari Andrews, and another one by Dave Johnson. Graphic designer Carlos Lau. Okay, so in this gorgeous comic book, man, you get Matt talking to Karen Page. All right, Matt Murdock, Daredevil's talking to Karen Page. And through the course of this, he comes to realize that maybe, just maybe, she's not really there. Oh, she's kind of like a figment, like Pete's dragon. Look at that. Look at that bottom panel right there. She's airwalking like Aquarius. Anybody remember that guy? Marvel was sued big time by DC Comics over that because he was too much like Superman. What? We'll have that conversation one day. Anyway, so we get a bit of an origin story, a little bit, because 4 days ago, Bruce Banner walking in, he wants to talk to the Punisher, Frank Castle, and when he sees him, he's like, oh, hey. Now, I want you to pay attention to what's happening here. Banner is actually cuffed. He's cuffed to the bar on the table, and what do you call it? Punisher's like talking to him or whatnot. It's Frank Castle, but it's still the Punisher. And we actually get to see all these silly little, letters that were written by a child who sneaks in the middle of the night. It's actually the Hulk. We know that. But, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, Punisher doesn't want to believe, and all of a sudden, this. And then this. Punisher freaks out. Okay, bad cop, bad cop, bad cop. So, Professor Bill is never a fan of bad cops. And enough of you who know my story know why. So, what do you call it? And it's funny because through it all, whatever happens, Banner takes a nap in the hotel. He's like, smash, blah, 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 whatever. Punisher was there the whole time. He's like, okay, it's time to go. So he was there to see if a child came in or not. What did he actually see throughout the course of that night? Maybe nothing. Maybe something. Punisher ain't telling. So anyway, bang. I don't see any papers around. So we get to see Elektra. This is, for the most part, Elektra's story. And, oh, God, I loves me some Elektra. Just one of the best fighters in the Marvel Universe. And she's going at it with Frank. Now, I'm going to say something a lot of you guys aren't going to agree with. I know that. But Elektra is actually not as great a fighter as Frank Castle. This is just my opinion, but whatever. And it's not just because we're both former military. Frank Castle is an amazing hand-to-hand combatant, and he could take a punch better than most people. All right? In my opinion, he could take a punch better than Wolverine. Wolverine can heal faster. Wolverine has the adamantium bones. Punisher can actually take a punch better than Wolverine. Not as powerful. He ain't going to go toe-to-toe with the Hulk like Wolverine can. But as far as proportionally you look at it, Frank can deal with a whole lot more pain on his level than Wolverine can on his. Okay, so, yeah, the Punisher, like, he's trying not to go savage on Elektra. In a straight-up hand-to-hand combat fight, though, like, Frank is trying hard not to punch back. He throws it through a plate glass window at one point. He's doing things, and then he'll stop. Elektra isn't stopping. Like, she's going all at it with him. Frank Castle can beat Elektra in a fight. As much as you guys know I love Elektra. I want to write for Elektra more than anything. More than anything. She's amazing. And it's funny, little scenes like this are why. She shows the scars on her. I don't know how she got that. Well, there's this guy named Bullseye. Anyway, so, yeah, she kicks his butt. Now, again, straight up hand-to-hand, she ain't winning. But Frank is trying to hold back. Anyway, and just look, he gets up from everything that she throws, and he barely throws anything back at her. Her face isn't bloody and all that, you know? But what's going on inside the car? Oh, the thing is, you might be wondering, well, why is Elektra acting like this? First off, it's because it's Elektra. 2, Elektra is better at assassination, not at hand-to-hand combat. 3, Frank is not being a good cop, so he deserves everything that's coming back to him. That's just my opinion. So, boom, we get this right here. What's the big thing important back here? Oh, look by my finger. Oh, yeah, what's going on in the car? He's getting angry. You don't want to see him angry. And he goes up to check it out, and all of a sudden, somebody else shows up. And you know what? Whatever. It's not exactly the last page, so I'm willing to show that little flash for you right there. There's a lot in there. And then, of course, the last image that's on here. That's interesting. That had me, and if you read the comic book, you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't read the comic book, well, besides all the other things I'm now talking about in this comic book, that's the thing you really got to understand. Now, all of a sudden, the story thickens. But you know what? Like, I've never been a fan of, you know, here's an issue 2 where the questions only get deeper and blah, 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 right? That's not the case in this particular comic book. Why? It's done in a very expert way. Uncanny X-Men 2, I had this problem. Just deal with it, all right? I have this problem that we got 0 answers. All we got are more questions. One really big, we got a persistence, a sustainment of the original questions, and then we got another question, a huge question at the very end of it, right? Go and check out that video for Uncanny X-Men issue number 2 to understand what I'm talking about there. But in this case, dude, we're getting a bunch of small answers showing that we're actually trying to investigate, and even though we're not fully successful, there are stages to success, right? Nobody, you know, no gumshoe goes up and just, you know, crime, up, found the answer, let's go. No, there's a process, and it's the process that's interesting, and they're actually going through a process and succeeding in figuring out what the F is happening. So even though there's no success, there's progress. That's all that matters. So when we get a much bigger question at the end of this, unlike in Uncanny X-Men 2, in this issue, I'm floored by it in a very, very positive way. I love where this comic was going. I liked the first issue. It was really good. This issue kicks that issue right in the butt, all right? It doesn't actually send it flying because it needs to stand on the shoulders of the first issue. But the first issue is just enough to make me say, I really want to read the next issue and see if we get an explanation. And oh, hell yes, I love what happens in this issue. Guys, if you were on the fence and you decided not to get issue 1, allow me to help you to rectify your mistake. This is an awesome issue and makes the first issue even better. This is a great story. Dude, you want to just wait for the trade? That's on you, brother, but this comes out every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to wait a particularly long time for this. So in 2 more weeks, I get to see the next issue. I get to see where we go from there. I get to see this new version of the Defenders. Who are they going to go after next? There's a whole list of names down here, dude. There's a whole list of names. I would love to see Shauna the She-Devil in this. She was on there. You know what I'm saying? She's one of the names. What do you call it? Killmonger is on here. Wouldn't that be interesting? You know? There's so much in here, man. So much in here. I'm still trying to understand what this name is. Oh, Worthington. So Angel, yeah, Warren Worthington. Okay, now I get it. But there's a lot in here, guys. There's a lot in here. Black Bolt is one of them. Danny Rand. So where are we going to go next, man? Where are we going to go next? I'm looking forward to it. This is great. This is the way you write an awesome mystery comic book. All right. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.